Well, now it's time to say it. Welcome to Claymore Country, as McIntyre steps up to the monster among men, Braun Strowman. McIntyre fought recently against Seth Rollins, and now he steps up to the monster among men. Will Braun Strowman be brought to Claymore Country? I guess that is something we're just gonna have to wait and find out. Another DDT. If he can keep Strowman down, that is going to be something more than what we could expect from McIntyre. I for one though, have been thoroughly enjoying putting together matches like Shawn Michaels versus Triple H, Austin versus The Rock, Hogan versus The Rock, Kevin Nash and Goldberg, and looking at the possibility of doing matches with The Undertaker. I'm loving the idea of having matches and including the legends a bit more, because that is something that I never did or I haven't done for the longest time, because the active wrestlers have been the focus since I started doing videos. So it's only fair that the legends start becoming the focus rather than the active wrestlers. Or rather than just the active wrestlers. Yes. Even though this Welcome to Claymore Country series is more about the fact that WWE doesn't know what to do with Drew McIntyre. But that doesn't mean I don't know what to do with Drew McIntyre. And we can do more with McIntyre. I'm not saying we can do McIntyre. I'm not saying we can do more with McIntyre, but than WWE can. I'm just saying, from an overall perspective, the idea is that I pitched going a different perspective or going a different way with the World Title Tournament, and basically including McIntyre. And also not going with a trio of matches between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. Sorry, Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes. And going with one match between Brock and Cody, and then going with McIntyre versus Cody. I'm not saying that that's still not something that could happen, but the longer we wait to see McIntyre come back to programming, the longer it is, or the less likely it becomes that McIntyre will actually have something to do with, or anything to do with, for that matter, WWE programming, especially with somebody like Cody Rhodes. Which is a damn shame, because McIntyre carried the company during the pandemic and is somebody that should be treated as an asset to the company, like he was last year against Roman Reigns. And also, if you want to look at it from that perspective, Gunther's match with Sheamus would not have been as good at WrestleMania if it was just Drew McIntyre. I mean, yes, it would have been a rematch, but they needed McIntyre to add another layer to the match, and also, it was different. It was different than the match at Clash at the Castle, and also, it was in a way better because it added a new layer to that match from Clash at the Castle. I'm not saying the match at Clash at the Castle was bad. I'm just saying that the match at WrestleMania was different, and without McIntyre, it wouldn't have been different. It would have been just the same as it was at Clash at the Castle, as McIntyre takes on the Claymore Country. McIntyre tried to use the referee. McIntyre tried to use the referee to his advantage and take out Braun Strowman as he bumped the referee, and then using that distraction from the referee, he hit Braun Strowman with the Claymore. I mean, honestly, I've never seen the move executed like that, but the fact of the matter is, that's why McIntyre is a former WWE champion. He learned how to execute that move from any which way, at any at any proper time, as now McIntyre sees an opportunity to roll away and greet Braun Strowman on the outside. McIntyre and Braun Strowman were actually together a few years ago in a short-lived faction, I guess you could call it that, with Dolph Ziggler against The Shield. And now they're on opposite sides of the ring and in opposite trajectories, as McIntyre is heading in one direction and Strowman is heading in the opposite direction, at least in my opinion, if that is the case, for these two respected former WWE champions or former world champions, with McIntyre being a former WWE champion and Strowman a former world champion, a universal champion. I just have to wonder, does Drew McIntyre do any other moves outside of a DDT? Because right now all I'm seeing from McIntyre is DDTs and nothing else. So that is something I have to wonder. Does he do anything else other than a DDT? Because I'm not seeing him do nothing else but a DDT as Braun Strowman's coming off the top rope. Braun Strowman is up on the top rope, and this is something we don't normally see from the Monster Among Men, as he tried for a top rope double X handle from what it looked like. McIntyre pushes off Strowman. Hammer and sickle by McIntyre. As McIntyre sends Strowman into the ropes, he avoids the shoulder, or he avoids the elbow. Does Strowman? A butterfly suplex avoided by McIntyre. Rolls out. McIntyre rolls out. And now he's prepared to take Strowman to Claymore Country once again. And this time follows it up with a ladder of press. 2, 3, no! Strowman kicks out, and the Scottish Warrior is frustrated. You can see it. The Scottish Warrior is frustrated as he tried to take down Braun Strowman again with a second Claymore. And you gotta figure I don't know what to say. I was gonna say you gotta figure maybe one more will do him in, but the fact of the matter is you don't know what's gonna take to do in the Monster Among Men. You don't know what it will take to do in the Monster Among Men, as now McIntyre sends Strowman up the ropes. Up the rampway. McIntyre gets back into the ring, and then he changes his mind and almost beheads Strowman with a clothesline. He almost beheaded Strowman with a clothesline as Strowman feasts on McIntyre. Strowman feasts on McIntyre on the outside. A torture rack, and McIntyre, instead of letting the damage be done, he gets out of the submission from Strowman, who is now just stomping a mud hole in McIntyre. He is just stomping a mud hole in McIntyre. He looked for the future shock DDT, but Strowman reversed him. Big boot by McIntyre. And McIntyre sends Strowman in the barricade. And then returns to the ring. He's trying to get a count out. From Braun Strowman. He's trying to get Strowman counted out, and it looked like he got to the count of 8. But that was it. Now he goes for a roll-up. 2. No! Strowman again kicks out. Again. McIntyre drops him with a DDT. Swinging neckbreaker by McIntyre. McIntyre is taking him to Claymore Country once again. Is the third one gonna be the charm? It's gotta be. 2, 3, and Drew McIntyre throws another one in his win column. He throws another one in his win column as he looks. You gotta wonder, if McIntyre has got his sights set on the Rainmaker? Does McIntyre have his sights set on Okada? Or when will the Scottish Warrior have his sights set on the Rainmaker? When will he have his sights set on Okada? When will he have his sights set on Okada? What will it take for McIntyre to have his sights set on Okada and the undisputed Universal Championship? The fact of the matter is, I think that is something that we will have to find out at a later date, because McIntyre gets another win and takes someone else to Claymore Country, but the only question is, who's next on the list? You'll have to wait and find out in the next video as McIntyre continues to build momentum.